What's up, guys? Welcome to Box to Box Football, and we're going to touch on Manchester United. And Manchester United just had a 2-0 win against Brighton. This is their first win in the last four? I think in the past three games they've blown 1-0 leads in each and every one of them.
Premier League champions next year, mate.
Yeah, Jack. You know that prediction video that like we had with
Yeah.
Man United, we're saying them finishing second and first and all that sort of stuff. There's like, damn.
Can I just speak on that real quick? Like that, I think I can just own that as being prisoner of the moment, right? What did they have, James? 3 months of being the best team in the league? Like seriously, they were the best team in like post COVID and stuff. They were the best team in the league in form. But as we always say, like form is temporary, class is permanent. This team is not a classy team. This was not sustainable. So I think maybe we were looking like rose-colored glass a little bit there. Like maybe we were just prisoners of the moment a bit. I'm going to speak for myself on that. I'm not going to drag you into my dirty bathwater there. But I'm going to say
I had Chelsea winning it, but Man United was definitely up there. But again, right. Man City, Liverpool, they are
different class.
Yeah, but let's talk about Man United and let's talk about their it's not world record, but their world record defender in Harry Maguire. Now, Jack, in recent Manchester United games, them dropping leads, one of the most glaring things right now is just Harry Maguire, and it seemed to be like poor defending. Now, Harry Maguire was brought in for £80 million, a world record, a British record, before Jack Grealish smashed to joining Man City. We thought that this guy was gonna come in and be their Rio Ferdinand, their Vidic, come in and make that defensive statement that they've been looking for a while. I remember when Jose Mourinho was screaming out for a defender. He wanted Harry Maguire at the time, and he didn't get it. United have got their man, and has he lived up to the price tag of 80 million? No, but he hasn't been bad for Manchester United. But in recent times, especially this season, Jack, his form has been very, very, very poor. And to me, the glaring thing about Harry Maguire, more than anything else, is the way he defends. I have a big problem with that, because I look at him for the price tag he was brought in for and what he is as a defender. He's just not up to that standard at all, Jack. Yeah, I'm going to let you first start off and think about it. I'm going to have my say. But how do you feel about Harry Maguire and his defending as a Manchester United player?
Well, look, I agree with most of the stuff you just said there. Like, I know you didn't go into a great deal of detail, and you'll get to your bit shortly here. But yeah, James, this is a guy who shouldn't be where he is. I think that Man United signing somebody like Harry Maguire for 30 million, 40 million to be the captain, to bring in some kind of cultural change to the football club, some accountability, more of that British spine that they had going forward. James, remember before Harry Maguire, the best centre-back kind of duo there at Manchester United was looking at like Victor Lindelof and Eric Bailly. And Eric Bailly, to me, James, Eric Bailly is either the greatest centre-back of all time or one of the worst. Like, that's the most hit and miss player I think I've ever seen play football. Victor Lindelof, again, just isn't quite to that level. Harry Maguire, you thought, okay, maybe this was the step up. Yeah, it was way too much money. And this is a guy stylistically that does not suit big teams, big games playing. Yeah, he'll win some aerial duels. He'll win some headers. Fine. He's a big, strong boy. Like, all this stuff is fine. But we know that when you're playing for a football team like Manchester United, this is not what it's about. I think, James, rumours were leaked, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Ralf Rangnick does not think that Harry Maguire or Aaron Wan-Bissaka are good enough to play for Manchester United. Now, we haven't heard from Aaron Wan-Bissaka for a long time now. Diogo Dalot is now down that right-back spot for a long time. Now, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we, I think, agree on this, can be the greatest defensive right-back of all time. But if you're the right-back for Manchester United, we do not want your traits to be good defender. We want your traits to be, we need you to be more like Dani Alves than we need you to be like anything else, right? So I think Harry Maguire, there's too much of a financial pressure and a cultural pressure to keep him involved. But I think if Ralf Rangnick had his way, James, I don't know if Harry Maguire starts for Manchester United. Seriously, I really don't.
For me, Jack, that needs to be considered now, because
right, James, I agree.
We have to look at the pure stance of defending. Now, regardless of where you are in football, Jack, defensive principles doesn't change. And I look at Harry Maguire as a pure defender, defending 1v1, defending on the halfway line, making certain decisions as a top level centre back. He's just not up to scratch. Now, when you're playing for certain teams, like I don't know, like wait, I think he might have been at Hull at a time.
Yes.
Leicester,
Yep.
the like Leicester to a certain point. You can defend at a certain level, right? Usually at times you get teams hit it long to you, you can head it, kick it away, you got bodies around you, you're not really exposed. Yeah.
No.
And Jack, let me tell you this right now. Heading, kicking the ball, any defender can do that. Jack, you can go to Sunday league, Saturday league, and you can get so many defenders who can head and kick the ball away.
James,
that's all
Chris,
right.
Another great example, right? Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling was at Maidenhead, spent a bit of time at Fulham, went to Manchester United. We saw the same kind of thing. And at Roma now, hilariously, like it's the same thing. Like these are big, strong guys who can do all those things you just said. But a Manchester United defender, no.
But then you take it to the next level, Jack. And I'm talking about being able to read the game, being able to play against 1v1, being able to say, you know what, to your fullbacks and like your midfielders go, you go along right there. If they leave 2-3 players there, we can handle them. Yeah,
right.
Like Rio Ferdinand and Vidic always spoke about they having that ability to do that. They said to the rest of the players, "You guys go, let's get the winner. We have it there. We can think about it. We can defend even out even outnumbers at the time." And the thing with Harry Maguire that gets me is that Jack defending 1v1, Jack, he is awful. He's awful. His foot patterns, his body motion, the way he plants his foot, it's completely out of motion.
James,
Jack,
a forward drops the shoulder once, Maguire's off. Like Jack, Maguire's elsewhere. He's in another dimension.
But that's the thing about it. As a top defender, you need to be able to anticipate these things. I remember, I think there was one goal against Burnley. I think Man United won 3-1, and it was Aaron Lennon that scored against him. Now, Aaron Lennon picks it up like 30, 40 yards away, Jack. And he drives at Harry Maguire. And Harry Maguire backs off and backs off and backs off and backs off and backs off.
This isn't Lennon from 10 years ago either.
Like, exactly. He backs off to the point that, Jack, Ireland's 40 yards out. Yeah? He backs off so deep into his own box. Like, he's touching around the 6-yard box. And Aaron Lennon just slots it in and around the penalty area. And I just looked at it and I just said there, when it comes to defending, Yes, I get to slow down the attacker, but then there comes a time when you have to engage the attacker and actually stop him from progressing.
Virgil van Dijk.
Exactly, and it just looked like a defender who just didn't have the ability and also the confidence to know what to do next. It was almost like, oh, back off, guys. Who's actually gonna bail me out here in this situation? And this is where I have the problem too. Too many times I'm seeing him where we hear this thing from attackers and like defenders. When you're able to see the defender's number, you know that they're in a bad spot. And Jack, he just seems to be all over the place with that. Even the goal against Southampton, he's the defending arms, legs, all that sort of stuff there. Yeah. And don't get it twisted. Yes, I am criticizing Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is not a bad defender. But we're asking Harry Maguire, yes, to be a top level defender where the level goes up, where
there's a difference.
Exactly. Where you are going to be exposed as a defender to see how how good you are. And let's be honest, Jack, he's just not up to that standard.
And guys, anybody watching who think Man United fans in particular, if you think James is being super critical here, James is not saying that Harry Maguire needs to go to the Vanarama North League to be playing centre back. James, I'm sure, thinks that Harry Maguire could do a stand-up job for a number of Premier League teams and be a star player for a lot of Premier League teams. But at Manchester United, and for their aspirations and where they're trying to go to, it's a different level of player.
And Jack, people are going to bring up the fact of, but he plays for England and he was great in the World Cup and he was great in the freaking Euros. Of course, he's playing as a 3 with bodies. We think about it, with bodies around him the whole time.
And sometimes 5 at the back, James.
Exactly, Jack. He's not as exposed. And Jack, you know, and I know, we were talking in the Euros, how defensive England were. Centre backs are not going to be exposed in that situation. No. You know, so listen. He isn't a bad defender.
The difficulty, though, getting into the kind of the nitty gritty of now going forward, right? They need to own an £80 million mistake, right? I don't know who in the hell is buying the man. I really don't, because I don't know what foreign interest there would be in somebody like Harry Maguire. I mean, God forbid if he plays in Europe, he'd get absolutely dismantled. Other teams in England, I don't think so. It would be one hell of a cut price deal there. I have no doubt that Harry Maguire has a lot of value with intangibles, with leadership, with being that guy, the cultural reboot at the club. But James, that only gets you so far. Football is a sport after all. You've got to have talent, you've got to have ability, you've got to have this and that. I think it will be interesting to see what happens. They've been bold enough, I think, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka to kind of remove him from the situation and see what happens. But Harry Maguire is far beyond that. This is the captain we're talking about. This is the kind of the future of the club. And James, I guess just to kind of gloss in a little bit of something I've been thinking about recently, I've been watching David De Gea play football lately. James, I'm looking at reclaiming a spot of a best goalkeeper in the world kind of thing. He's definitely back up in that conversation. I'll tell you what I did recently. I thought to myself, man, he's been busy. The conversation with Dean Henderson and stuff's gone awfully quiet. Do you know who's made more saves than anybody else in the Premier League this year? It's David De Gea. This is Manchester United. And again, relating it back to Harry Maguire, Manchester United, you're conceding the most shots on target. And you're the captain of your football club, Harry Maguire, £80 million, and you're making your goalkeeper make more saves than Ilan Meslier at Leeds, than so-and-so at Norwich, than so-and-so at Watford, etc., etc. So, James, this is a much bigger issue. I have no doubt that Harry Maguire and Manchester United fans might point to the midfield and go, not working hard enough. Wingers, strikers, not working hard enough, not helping. You have to defend as a team. It's not just Harry Maguire. That's all fine. That is all fine.
100.
But I'm telling you that there are some other players who would be doing a better job than Harry Maguire is right now.
Jack, 100%. And I'm just going to put, if this is Harry Maguire in a different skin of, like, let's just say an Eric Bailly, for instance, or like a Victor Lindelof, Jack, he would have been out a long time ago.
James, Jack, if he was worth any less than 40 million, I agree with you. I agree.
You know, and listen, where Man United go from here, I don't know. Because are they really going to persist with Harry Maguire for the next 3, 4, 5 years?
I think they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to when the next manager's in for at least 6 months to 12 months. But if it doesn't work out, unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much you cost. Eventually, it just doesn't work out. We saw Sebastian Haller right at West Ham. Wasn't he 40 million? West Ham got to a point where they were biting the bullet. See you later, bro. And he's gone and he's having success elsewhere. That's fine. The other point I'll mention with Harry Maguire: did Leicester City miss a beat with Wesley Fofana or Soyuncu or, I don't know, Filip Benkovic or whoever the hell they got a centre-back there? They didn't. No, this was not some sort of major loss to the football club that they were really, really suffering from. This was a replaceable player for Leicester City. Does that sound like a player that you'd want to spend £80 million on going forward? I think probably not.
Well, I think you Man United just got to look at some of their investments. And I like the Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And Harry Maguire, listen, he's a good defender, but the money that they put out on these guys and the level that they expect them to bring to the club, let's be honest, they weren't at that sort of level.
James, you know, quickly, a little bit of a hot take too, because I know that we've spoken about this very, very briefly a couple of years ago. Try Aaron Wan-Bissaka out as a centre back. I'm serious. If the attacking upside there, if the on-the-ball play is not there, if you just make him a simple decision maker and you make him a defender first with simple football, he could potentially be a better version of Harry Maguire. You might think, oh, you're being flippant, you're being ridiculous there. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is, I would argue, the best one-on-one defender in the world today. So if you put him in a position where he's allowed to express that better than his England compatriot and Harry Maguire, why the hell not?
Well, guys, tell me what you think. What do you think about me and Jack's comments? Were we too harsh on Harry Maguire? And should Manchester United drop or keep him in the team? Guys, let us know. Comments down below. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you next time.